I hope you have had a good time so far. We are into the final session now, and this will be chaired by Professor Abhijit Mahapatra from Electrical Engineering, and we start with Nilutpal from Design. Abhijit, take over, please.
Hello.
Not much to add. Just wanted to introduce Nilutpal. So he has joined Department of Design as evident in January 2026. And the next few sessions that we are going to have probably will help us in understanding as teachers how to make use of the resources that we have at hand. So Nilutpal will talk more about the use of slides and presentations, followed by our next discussion on how to interact with Gen Zs. And then lastly, probably two speakers, which I'll introduce later, will sort of conclude what we have discussed so far, followed by some interesting activity which Professor Harbola and team has planned. So let's look forward to thoughtful discussion. Thank you. Over to you, Nilutpal.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm the same person who was making random facts about Vincent van Gogh. I assure you, it was almost 50% correct. Almost 50%. So in this presentation, I will not be talking about how to teach, but how can we make better presentations in from the perspective of like a visual designer. Graphic design or design in general is just composition of visual elements. And what is the composition? Composition refers to the visual structure and its arrangement of the elements within the design. Whatever you can see in the canvas or screen, how it's organized and how it's interacting with each other. And in this case, it's a slide. And we also have to understand composition means that we have to consider it as a whole, not as individual elements. So whole is more important than the individual elements. And there are elements and principles that can affect a good composition, that can make a composition good or bad. Those are balance, consistency, contrast, white space, proximity, and repetition with variation. I will explain one by one. So, as you can see, balance is something which is a deliberate distribution of elements within a page. Here you can see from architecture and also from dance movement. It can, two very common ones are symmetrical balance and asymmetrical balance. In the symmetrical balance, you can see one axis is there, like a vertical axis is there, and on the left and right side, you'll more or less, it's the similar sizes, shapes, and the volume. But in asymmetry, the balance is achieved in slightly different way, and sometimes, or most of the times, it's very, more difficult to achieve the asymmetrical balance, but it is more engaging. Symmetrical balance is, it's easier to do. As you can see, we can simply put text like this, and also like there's like a placeholder for an image. So you can simply make it like that. Now, if we just kind of change the position and the size of the text box and also the image, it goes more towards asymmetrical balance. And this slide talks about consistency or harmony or lack of consistency or harmony. So what creates a lack of consistency or harmony? If you use too many colors, or you use too many different font styles, or probably different layout structures. Layout structures as in like where we are putting those text boxes and images. So something like that. The third point is contrast. Contrast can be achieved in different ways. So first one is, you can see contrast of size. The second one is contrast of shape. Third is contrast of color, and fourth is its texture or style. The same can be applied here also. You can see in these text boxes, the first one, the contrast is achieved by using just one single font, but two different sizes. The second one, you can see same size, two different fonts, second column. But the contrast is not enough to be a title and a body. And the third one, both are combined, two different fonts and two different sizes. And probably we can emphasize it more by adding color. But most of the time, the color is probably not even required. And we don't want to add complexity when there is no need for it. The fourth point is white space. What is white space? We sometimes also call it negative space. So what is this? These are the deliberate open areas in the composition that allows the viewer to focus on the rest of the composition. So here the rest of the composition basically means what we can see about the contrast, this body text. So by having this vast empty area, we are actually focusing the eye towards this particular information. Please see once how does it look. I think it is easier to read because it's like a bigger size. I know. But whenever you're using justified text in very small columns, which has probably 6 to 7 words, so what happens? This kind of white spaces are formed. These are called white space rivers in typographical terms. So they are very unsightly, and also it is very difficult to read because our reading speed is also like get lessened with it. So this can easily be corrected with just decreasing the size and give ample space, which is the negative space outside, so that our main body is focused. Yeah, this is not justified because I did not want to justify, because justification, sometimes it can create spaces also. And like most of the designers actually prefer left aligned texts. Yeah, fine. Yes. Yes. Yes, here it will be better. Even if I use justification, it will be better than before because I am also increasing the width of the column.
The spacing is less.
Yes. The spacing will be less and it will be less visible.
You actually commented on this, something I struggled with quite a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, with the same font before,
Yes.
if you just remove justification, then also it will become visible, right?
Then it will be fine. But the other issue is there, like lack of negative space here.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
what happens when you don't have enough negative space? The subject itself becomes background. We don't view this as a subject here. It's just visual noise.
There is no side space.
So without silence, there cannot be voice, no? If everybody is shouting, so who will hear? So that is the silence, not here. That is the silence on the borders and the message in inside. The same concept. The left one is the original Apple logo on an iPhone, and the right side is like it's slightly, not slightly, made it large. Only the logo. Does it make more desirable, the right one, larger size? Like it's also very subjective, but for most people, it does not, because making something large does not necessarily create the value. To be valuable, it also has to be precious. So preciousness does not come from more; it actually comes from less. Same idea. Two different types of shops. In one, you can see everything, all those colors, all those different items, everything you can pick and choose. But there are like too much of information overload is happening. On the right side, the boutique or whoever owns the shop, they know what the customer wants. They are saying, this is the thing you want, and there's like enough negative space also, pick one of it. So there's no like overload of information and like difficulty in choosing. Then comes the next point, which is proximity. What is proximity? Proximity is just relationship in the placement of elements that are in play in the composition. So what is happening on the left column? The title is bit above the body text. So it looks more like a part of the main title of the slide than the body text. This, because of proximity. Basically, whoever is sitting close, they are forming a group, and whoever is sitting like in different tables, they are creating a different group. And repetition with variation. Repetition is useful to create familiarity with and structure. Like if the college starts from 9 a.m. every day, it should start from 9 a.m. every day, so that it gives a sense of structure. With small variation, prevent the design from becoming monotonous. So what is happening in my whole presentation, if you can see, this looks like it's coming from a same source. Because like there are some repetition with the font, the size, also the background, the white. But also you can see sometimes I'm placing some text boxes vertically and sometimes it's more horizontally like this one. So it is creating some kind of variation to keep it more interesting. And how to create structure and homogeneity across slides. Yes, sir.
When I'm making slides, can I have variation in font size from one slide to the other? Would that make it better?
I'll talk later. So as you can see, homogeneity can be achieved by using grids. So grids are basically used every media design that can be print or digital. And I have just like talking about 3 different types, which is hierarchical grid that you can see in the New York Times newspaper website. Then one can be column grid that is very visible in many magazines or website, even websites. And modular is, that is also used in websites. So modular basically has columns as well as rows. So grids creates an organization, visual order. So basically creates order above chaos. And it also creates the role of the creator or the designer much easier, because you don't have to think about like, should I nudge it little bit towards the left or towards the right. If the grids are already there, that becomes more logical. And also, it makes the information simpler for viewers to digest, because the viewer have some kind of idea what will happen, because they are seeing the same pattern. So with grids, we can create the pattern. For this particular presentation, I am using a 12 by 9 grid. So 12 columns are there and 9 rows are there. And I have also shown the size of the slide, that is in centimeter. That is the default size of Microsoft PowerPoint. So I just wanted to divide it by 2 centimeter by 2.5 centimeter grids, so which is easier to calculate also, with 0.5 centimeter as gutter or gap. I'll show how this helps. Sorry, sir? Yes. Yes, the next slide. So this is the grid you get after you do it like that. So this can be one composition. So this can be text boxes, this can be images, or something else also. That is completely up to you. It can be figures. You can just easily change it. Since you have the grid, you can easily manipulate it, and then also it will look very structured. If there are like less content, you can just make 2 boxes or 1 box. Now coming to, as Sarah said, like what font or typeface to choose. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. You can use grids, but I'm using guides. Grids and guides are slightly different. Grids are like pixels that you cannot change, unfortunately. You can change the size, but it's very difficult. Rather than that, what I did here, actually, I created, before doing it, I made this. This is very easy to do with shapes. In Microsoft PowerPoint, you can select shapes. So shape, you can easily size it. And after I create this pattern, it becomes very easy to just drag down the guidelines. If you turn on the ruler, then you can easily, yeah, 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 yes. Right now, I am using this like a just for showcase as a placeholder, but you can easily make it like a text box. Yeah. Yes, size and structure. Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, left alignment. Yes, 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 yes. And after that, whatever you write, it will be, yeah. Grid helps to create a consistency. We are not randomly putting text boxes in any place. Yeah, better alignment. And we also like, I also forgot to mention like why I took 12 by 9 grid. I could have taken 3 also. But what it does, 12 is like a more like divisibility. It can be divided by 2, 3, 4. So like I can make probably equal sizes contents. And also if I want, probably 8 and 4. One big and one small. So what font or typeface to choose? The next point. Now we are talking about psychology of typefaces. Typefaces can have their own personalities, and then that can evoke feelings from the viewer. And that can come from very universal ideas. If you see on the right, the form themselves can be linked to universal characteristics. The triangle is more aggressive than a circle. Why? Because triangle has sharper edges. It can hurt you in physical sense. And also, triangle is have like that angular properties. No, it's more dynamic also. Circle is more trustworthy. SBI logo. It's not a triangle. It's a circle because it's trustworthy and also very easy to like approachable. At the same time, if you see on the bottom, that's rectangles. From left to right, it can show strength, confidence to delicateness or subtleness. Sometimes we may want something else, and other time the other. The script fonts are actually inspired from handwriting, so that's why it gives a sense of elegance, celebration, or personal touch. And serif fonts are shows tradition, authority, or scholarship because those are the fonts, old days used fonts that can be found in the printed books, 200 years, 300 years, probably higher. So we are accustomed to seeing those kind of fonts in those kind of scenarios. So these are culturally understood characteristics. And also, if I see it at the bottom, the sans serif fonts show modernity, clarity, or probably technology, because these are the most recent major type. Take a minute to just to remember if you have used similar kind of typefaces without even thinking about why I'm using it. The top one is called black letter or Gothic style, which is inspired directly from the medieval manuscripts of Europe. So that directly links with something old, traditional, or religious text. And if you see the middle one, that has slightly rounder shapes. Rounded shapes can showcase friendliness or informality. That's why you can find it in children's books. Then comes the slab serif. Slab serif shows strength, boldness, industrial, as it can be evident in the Honda logo or the sweatshirt of Yale. Which one looks more appropriate? It's almost. Everyone agrees? Right now, everyone agrees, no? Or the right one? Left one. Left one. Because it creates a seriousness. We're not talking about something comforting or something which is very childish. We're talking about something of a serious matter. Also, one other factor when we have to deal with when making presentations, it has to be seen from a greater distance also. Then the idea of X height comes to picture. Right now, both these texts are set in same point size. It doesn't matter it's 10, 20, 30, 40 or 72. It doesn't matter, but those are same size, but different fonts. Different fonts have different X height. X height is the height of the smaller X, smaller case S. X, sorry. And also for reference, I have put on the right, that's like the oldest technology of printing, like pressing things. So that was the size from where the point came from. One point is basically 1 by 72 inches. So continuing with the same idea, here I have put in like a more of a realistic environment. Here you can see same size, same point size, but one is more easier to see because it's like a larger X height. If you see the left one, probably the people on the back, no, you cannot even read the right one. Same with this. That was a serif font. This is sans serif font. So here also, the left one is easier to read. And in this presentation, I have primarily used the typeface Inter, which has similar X height to the Tahoma one. Most of the fonts have bold, italic, and regular as their common styles, but it sometimes helps if you can find a font which is more styles like medium, semi-bold, black, etc. And in Google Fonts, you can easily find it. Like I have taken Inter, and as you can see on the right side, no, it shows all those different weights. In typography, we call it weights. Basically, regular is less weighted than a bold, and semi-bold will come before bold. So why does it help? Sometimes the bold one probably is too bold for some specific scenarios. Then probably you need medium or semi-bold. And in most cases, sans serif fonts are usually better than serif fonts, especially for screens, because it has less complexity. So that is easier to see from a distance or in smaller sizes. And after that, and before and after, like Professor Harbola has kindly given me some of his older slides to take a sample from. So that was probably the title of the presentation. And I did not do anything. I just went online and found a different version. So by just removing the blue part, we are removing complexity. So it making it more easy to just like grab the attention to the desired part. Sorry. It's almost the same. Yeah. So unnecessary white space. Negative spaces. And also like we are dividing it so that now it's like actively playing, having a play. It's not like a muted space. It's also saying something. Yeah. So this is another slide. So here what I'm finding is sir has used two primary colors, blue and red. And primary colors are usually very vibrant. They are the most vibrant. The two colors are actually fighting here in some way. They are fighting for attention. So how do you mitigate it? Just using two different fonts and just sizes. We are maintaining a hierarchy. And also we are guiding the viewer's eyes to what to see first and then what. Another image, here also I'm finding the courtesy internet images, it's in color and everything else is very muted or black and white color. So that is the secondary information, the courtesy internet images. Probably that may not be useful for like highlighting it. So what you can do, just write in like a very small text or simpler text without color. And also I'm using whatever I made the grids for my presentation here also. And also you can see I have also arranged the pictures in probably a more meaningful way, like in like a chronological order. Or if we know someone from one specific picture, then probably we can make it bigger also. This one. Here also, two slides are I'm taking from sir. One is this and one is this. So this has very text-heavy information, and these are actually difficult to put in like a presentation. So just creating a little bit of negative space around, so that it's easier to see. And also we can just combine them too. Like if we can find an interesting image of Einstein, and just we can combine. But sometimes it may be difficult to see from behind, like if you are making it too small. So this may be very difficult to see from the back. Same idea here also. I'm just segregating by proximity. No, we have talked about proximity. So we are keeping the related items together. And also if sometimes it helps, we can also create a line, very faded line, so that it creates a boundary. So this part has to be read with this part. Yes, grid is there. So when I talk about grid, you don't have to mathematically follow it every time. It's for your guidance. Sometimes if it feels like the content does not completely fit, so you can always move a little bit. Most of the time what I'm doing is I'm actually aligning with the column, but not all the time with the row. The same thing, blue and red. Probably we can make it like this. And also here I'm using a more like a muted red, so reddish orange kind of color, which goes more with the black text. The red one directly shouts at us, no? So I'm just keeping the level, volume level little low. The same can be done with other form of contrast. If you can create a black background, so it is more prominent there. And to end this presentation, everyone can have like different kind of socks, different colors, and different apparels like pants and everything. But whenever we want to find something, it has to be neatly organized and put it in like a little baskets. That makes sense. Thank you. Questions? Yeah.
So 2-3 doubts.
Yes.
Okay, one is
Yes.
like, do we color code this when you want to organize?
Sorry, sir.
Do we color code the organization? Last one that you suggested.
That color code is like it has to like what is your idea? do you want to one color to be found
Yeah.
in one place,
Yeah, yeah.
regardless of their like item, like
Yeah,
what the
like
item
all
is?
black in black, brown
Huh,
in brown.
huh. But in this case, it makes more sense to put all the socks inside one basket, regardless of what color they are.
Okay.
The first priority is what item is this?
Okay, and regarding the font,
Yes.
so Microsoft was recommending Times New Roman for a long time. Now they have gone to Aptos
Yes.
by default.
Yes, yes.
So which one would you recommend and why?
Aptos for presentation.
Okay.
Aptos, because it's a sans serif font. Sans basically like.
But
if
for
you-
Word by default it's Aptos now.
Yes, yes, that is better.
Yeah.
No, it's not rounded. It's more like sharp, like a modern typeface. Rounded, it's sometimes it's not suitable for formal events. Yeah.
So and the last question, why do you call it negative space when it is making a positive impact?
Because the other one is positive space.
So, okay.
Yeah, ma'am. It's easier to read without fatigue in black on white. Yeah. Background is white.
And Professor Harbola's slide, if you can show me the one with the blue things that he had.
Probably this one.
Yeah, probably. Maybe sir, I don't know, I'm not very sure, but probably wanted to highlight those blue ones.
Yes.
Is it that way? But when you go to yours, if you can show that.
Yeah.
The size obviously is looking very aesthetic, but
Yes.
can you read it as well? Or
Yeah.
can we box it up or something if one wants to highlight something?
for
Is that a correct way of looking at it?
Highlighting basically what it deals with the principle is contrast. So we want to create contrast. So there, as I have already talked about, there are many ways to create contrast. One, probably we use a bigger size of font. But sometimes it's not possible in one single side because there are too many information are there.
Right.
So probably a alternative method could be, can we divide the slide?
Okay. Okay. But my another question was about the boxing. If there's an important equation or something,
Yes.
is it correct to it in from the design perspective?
I mean, like you can add boxes,
Do
but
that.
also that at the same time we are also adding visual complexities.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Yes, the simplest is always better, but it takes time to get the simplest design. Lots of iteration might be needed.
What is your viewpoint on having headers or footers which are consistent in slides? I mean, for example, say a IIT Kanpur logo
yes.
or the course name at the bottom. So does it distract the audience? Because this looks very clean,
Yes, yes.
but we have this tendency of having a very bottom sidebar or a top heading going on.
That, like, if it's necessary, then we have to do it. But as from a designer perspective, probably I won't be doing it. And also, should we put slide numbers? They're also very subjective and also depends upon the what context are you using. Slide as a physical format, probably most of you have seen from like those Hollywood movies where they are like FBI is putting slides, the physical slides, no? Glass ones. So the slides came from that idea. So that is like a one particular slide and then other particular slide. But in the today, we don't have to see like a one slide and the second slide. Both slides can be having a dialogue like a movie, something like that. In movie, we are not saying, no, this is, we are talking about that frame, but we're talking about one storyline. So probably it helps if we do not put the slide numbers and also just let it run like a movie. It can be one of the way to do it. I'm not saying that you should not put slide numbers. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
For example, wouldn't it be easier to have slide numbers because now it's saying,
Yeah.
can you go back to the
Yes,
slide with
yes.
like blue font and then if it's a 40
Yes,
slide
yes.
thing.
Yes, that I also have actually thought about, but we also talk about movies, no? Have you seen this movie?
Yeah, but usually in a conference or something,
Yes,
you
yes.
have 40 minutes presentation and
Yes,
3
yes.
minutes questions.
Yes, yes.
And
I agree with you. For that reason, I probably I will be putting slide numbers there. But for this presentation, I did not want to put presentation because I was more going towards a storytelling kind of flow.
And I had a similar question to what was asked before, which is in exactly this context, how do you cleanly create contrast? Because this looks like a very clean slide. And in this same slide, if I were to emphasize on a point without anything blowing up, or how would you, because in this slide, everything is of the same weight here. Suppose I wanted to emphasize again the second line on the thing which is starting with right.
Yes.
How would you do it?
One of the issue is if you want to emphasize everything, nothing is emphasized.
No, just one thing of the, like the take home message of this slide.
Okay.
I want to emphasize just take any one component of this.
So that's I already have tried to emphasize the bottom ones, that slightly red color. So that is already highlighting it. But
Okay.
if we need more highlight, so probably we can create the intensity or just make it little large.
I see. Okay. Thank you.